Hello dear friends, welcome to Eazi Lessons. In this video, we will be discussing about different methods to skip a loop. We have already seen different types of loops like entry control loops and exit control loops. And we have already told that the loops are designed in order to execute a particular group of statements n number of times or until a particular condition is satisfied. So the loop will be continuing so many times as per the condition given or as per the number of times given. But in certain situations, we have to skip the loop or we have to stop the loop before the normal times we have specified in the program. Suppose we have given a for loop to execute 10 times and the program is to find the sum of 10 different positive numbers, to find the sum of 10 different positive numbers. But in the question, there is a condition that whenever the user enters a negative number, the process should not continue. So normally we will be designing the loop to continue 10 times, but we have to keep the conditions or we have to keep the methods to stop the loop when the user enters a negative number. That means when a negative number is entered by the user, the execution of the loop should be terminated. In such situations, we have to come out of the loop prior to the predefined number of execution of a loop. And in C language, there are different methods to skip a loop. Some methods may be helping to skip the loop permanently, or some may be used for partial skipping of a loop. Let us see. In C language, there are different methods like break statement, continue statement, exit function, and goto statement. The purpose of goto statement we have discussed already in the previous videos. So the goto statement will not be discussed in this session. We know that goto is a branching statement. So when we place goto statement wherever in the program and when we apply either forward jumping or backward jumping, it will change the control of the program to that particular location. So by using this particular feature, we can use goto statement to come out of the loop also. And what about break statement? Break statement is mainly used to skip a loop permanently. That means if a particular condition arises and if you want the loop not to continue further, we can use this break statement. An example is given like a loop is being designed to execute 5 times, and inside the loop we have given two printf statements like good morning and welcome. So what will happen when I equal to 1, 1 less than or equal to 5, condition is true. So good morning will be printed and the condition will be evaluated whether the value of I is equal to 3, no. So no break will happen. Welcome will be printed. So in the screen, good morning and welcome will be printed for the first time. Then I gets incremented to 2 and again the condition will be evaluated as 2 less than or equal to 5. And again as the condition is true, good morning will be printed. And as 2 is not equal to 3, no break will happen. So welcome will be printed as usual. And when I is getting incremented to 3, again condition will be evaluated like 3 less than or equal to 5. And condition is true, so good morning will be printed. And what happens next? As the value of I is 3 now, the condition becomes true and the break statement encounters. So the working of the loop terminates there and the control of the program comes out of the loop and it will continue with the rest of the program. So the output will be for the first 2 times good morning welcome will be printed, and for the third time good morning will be printed but welcome will not be printed as the condition becomes true before that, so the loop will be skipped permanently and further iterations will not be continued. That is all about break statement. So next provision is continue statement. Continue statement is not same as break statement. Break statement was used to skip the loop permanently, whereas continue statement is used to skip the loop only for a partial exiting. So while using continue statement, what happens is that the statements under the continue statement inside the loop will not be executed, but the loop will be continued with the next iteration. So a partial skipping is done there. Let us say the previous example itself, that is I equal to 1 and I less than or equal to 5. 1 less than or equal to 5. The condition is true. Good morning will be printed. And as 1 is not equal to 3, continue will not be working there. And so welcome will be printed. I gets incremented to 2. Again condition will be evaluated as 2 less than or equal to 5, and as the condition is true, good morning will be printed. 2 not equal to 3, so continue will not be working there. So again welcome will be printed. I gets incremented to 3, 3 less than or equal to 5. So condition is true, so again good morning will be printed. But if I equal to 3, what happens there? As 3 is equal to 3, continue will be started working. So the rest of the statements will be skipped. That is, welcome will not be printed. Incrementation of I will not be happened there. So what happens? The program control will be taken to the beginning of the loop, and again the loop continues with the next iteration. But there the value of I is not changed. As I plus plus statement has not been executed, the value of I remains what? 3 itself. So again 3 less than or equal to 5 condition is true. So the program will continue with the loop and good morning will be printed, and again 3 equal to 3. So the condition is true. The following statements will be skipped. Again the program will continue with the next iteration. So I remains, as the value of I remains 3 itself, the loop will be continuing continuously and good morning will be printed, but welcome will not be printed as the condition is true. As the value of I remains 3, always the condition will be true and the following statements will be skipped. So it leads to what happens? Loop will not be terminated. Infinite loop will happen there. So it leads to an infinite loop. Properly, if the condition is properly not given, continuous statement may lead to infinite loops. Let us see the examples of continue and break statement with for loop. The same program is written using for loop. Here, in the case of break statement, there is no change. I is equal to 5. Condition is true. Good morning will be printed, and welcome will also be printed. For I equal to 2, also good morning and welcome will be printed. When I equal to 3, good morning will be printed and the loop will be terminated permanently in the case of break statement. But what will happen in the continue statement? When I is equal to 1 and 2, as in the case of previous statement, good morning, welcome will be printed. And when the value of I is equal to 3, good morning will be printed and the rest of the statements will be skipped. But in the case of for loop, as the iteration statement is written in the beginning of the loop itself, here I gets incremented. I becomes 4. 4 less than or equal to 5. Condition is true. So good morning will be printed. The condition will be evaluated as 4 equal to 3. No, condition is not true. So welcome will be printed. And again, iteration gets incremented to 5. I gets incremented to 5. So again condition is true. So good morning and welcome will be printed. And when the value of I becomes 6 only, the loop will be exited.
And the last function is exit function, which is inside the library file stdlib.h. This exit function is actually not a function which is used to skip the loop, but the function of the exit function is that it is mainly used to terminate the execution of the program. So what happens when it is used inside a loop? The loop will be automatically skipped, but At the same time, the termination of the program will be stopped. Normally, when we use break and continue statement, the loop will be break and it will be continuing with the next statement after the loop in the case of break statement. But in this case, when we use exit function, this is what happens is that it terminates the program execution. So that's all about the different methods to skip out of the loop. The various methods are either you can use break function, break statement, which is used to permanently skip the loop, or you can use continue statement, which is used to skip the following statements inside the loop and continue with the next iteration. And even you can use go to statement, which is a branching statement. So when it is given inside a loop and when the label is given outside, automatically the control of the program will be shifted to that particular label. And finally, exit function, which is used to exit the termination, means execution of the program. Okay, so I think all the topics are clear to you. If you have any suggestions, you can put forward in the chat box. Please like the video, share and subscribe it. Once again, thank you.